We got several updates to go over today in the Karmelo Anthony situation. We have a new court date, we have subpoenas that have been filed, plus I'm having a hard time understanding why everybody surrounding Karmelo Anthony right now is doing anything and everything in their power to make his situation worse. All that being said, everything's alleged, welcome to the point. Let's skip the intro and get right to it. This is the situation that I'm talking about. Now, we all understand that in the court of public opinion, we really don't mean a whole lot. Nothing we say actually matters. But there are situations where public pressure can give us a desirable outcome in the situation that we're stuck in. So in Karmelo Anthony's situation, a lot of these people surrounding him can affect this case to a degree. They can apply public pressure. There are some things that can be done if enough people join together and speak in one voice saying, hey, we need to fix this, or this is a problem in our community. Dominique Alexander, who is the spokesman, handler, or representative of the family, is currently in the middle of suing the Texas state school system. And here's what he's suing them over. Alexander's group sues Texas over 10 Commandment classroom law. In a Facebook post, NGAN wrote, "This isn't about restoring faith. This is about government control. This is about pushing Trump's Bible into Texas schools." Another flyer circulated by the group read, "We don't want Trump's Bible in Texas classrooms." Now look, I'm going to be honest, I don't pretend to know everything going on in the world, but I haven't seen an orange Bible anywhere. I get it. If there's something big enough where that man can put a name on it, he's going to put a name on it and sell it. I understand, but I haven't seen that. But are y'all legitimately telling me this is in the best interest of public opinion? This is the type of stuff we need to do right now when we're already in this other situation. I mean, hey, it's your business. You do it how you want. If you want to throw 1,000 irons in the fire, then throw 1,000 irons in the fire. But don't be mad when one of them gets too hot. It seems counterproductive to me that if you're going to be out there speaking on someone else's behalf, that you knock a whole lot of people's faith. I mean, if anything in this situation, we need more God. At least that's just my take. Now, you can feel free to disagree. And there's more to the background noise because it came out that Karmelo Anthony was going to be considered indigent. Now, what sparked that little tiny controversy is at the same time that became discovered, it was also found out that the family's Give, Send, Go was increased to $1.4 million. And while a lot of the buzz surrounding this story sort of died down to a degree after this indictment, people started re-raising the question, what is going on with the money? Now, Karmelo Anthony's camp would come out and say that when they filed that paperwork, that particular thing was automatic. They had nothing to do with that. But they're completely forgetting the fact that other people know how to read and other people know how to look stuff up on Google. And according to Sarah Fields, who's one of the investigative journalists filing a lot of these FOIAs and getting a lot of this information, came out with this post right here on X. False, this is not automatic. To request court-appointed counsel, the defendant needs to demonstrate to the court that they are indigent, meaning they're unable to afford legal representation. This typically involves completing and submitting a form detailing the individual's income, expenses, and property. These forms may be obtained from the local county's website, the Texas Indigent Defense Commission website, or directly from the court. The defense must request it, submit paperwork, and the approval process begins. Yes, for now, Mike Howard is his defense as listed in court documents. This will not stop him from moving on to an assigned attorney later on. I'll be honest with you, my take on it is this: if you can get it, get it. In terms of situations as a criminal defendant, you're already behind the 8 ball, so to speak. You already have the whole of whatever state you're in working against you. To the best of my memory, he did get this, and good for him, whatever. It doesn't really change anything in my own personal opinion of him. He's got the presumption of innocence. We'll uphold that presumption of innocence on this channel to the best of our ability. Now, we're not going to outright defend nonsense, but we're going to call it like we see it. And I'm continuing to see his camp do other things and make bad statements and act in ways that don't benefit Karmelo Anthony. And what I'm talking about specifically was that alleged text message back and forth between Karmelo Anthony's father and Sarah Fields. Now, I'll link Jumpsuit Pablo's video on that at the end of mine. You can go watch it if you want, if you haven't already. But that conversation is strange. I mean, legitimately, that's just some mob behavior. I understand your son's been indicted on a first-degree charge. I've gone on and said on this channel, I believe a first-degree charge is a bit of an overcharge, and there was a counterpoint to my points, which is fine since this is just an open discussion channel, where individuals are making the statement at the moment he brandished that weapon before the actual incident took place, that shows intent. And to be fair, that may very well be the case. That might be the angle the state is shooting for. They might be looking at this situation as the evidence has been laid out in front of them, saying he showed that weapon before this attack. Allegedly, he made statements before this attack where he told Austin, if you touch me, this is what's going to happen. So depending on how that story lays out, there may very well be intent here. But once again, that depends on how both sides are going to argue this thing. Which of course leads us to these subpoenas by Karmelo Anthony's defense team. Now we've touched on in our first video, is this self-defense or not self-defense, the pros and cons to a degree. But what his defense team subpoenaed is quite interesting. Listen to this. Update Karmelo Anthony case, subpoena for first court appearance. Karmelo Anthony will not be present. I received the subpoenas by Mike Howard, Karmelo Anthony's current attorney, through an open records request I submitted to the Collin County District Clerk's Office. According to the documents, Mike Howard is requesting all disciplinary, counseling, and school records from Frisco ISD for Karmelo, Austin, and Austin's brother Hunter. This is unusual as Hunter is not a party in the case, only a witness. Howard is also seeking information regarding an incident at a restaurant where no disciplinary action was taken. In that incident, Austin and Hunter instructed a group of cheerleaders from Memorial High School, their own school, to be quiet after the cheerleaders taunted them for losing a football game. Based on my own inquiries, the incident resulted in hurt feelings, nothing more. A defense attorney may subpoena school records of a non-party, but they must demonstrate the relevance of the records to the case and adhere to local procedures for issuing and serving subpoenas while respecting the individual's right to privacy and protections under FERPA. The school is required to make a reasonable effort to notify the parent if the student is a minor before complying with the subpoena. Frisco ISD did not contact Megan Metcalf until she sent an email informing them that she had been notified of the subpoenas by a third party and did not give her consent as a legal guardian. Frisco ISD's attorneys responded, citing Texas Code of Criminal Procedure 24.06, stating that failure to provide the requested evidence would constitute disobedience of the subpoena. Howard will bear the burden of proving the relevance of these records in court when he appears before Judge Roach on July 18th. Howard has also requested a list of all student athletes and their parents' information who were in attendance at the track meet, as well as a copy of all video footage taken. Now, the initial take from a lot of people are, how is this relevant? Obviously, it's not relevant. The defense is wrong for filing these types of subpoenas. Clearly, they're reaching or they're doing something shady. I'm going to go on and tell you, if you want justice in this situation, you should 100% want this attorney to do anything and everything they can. You're only going to get justice in these situations when both attorneys are doing their job to the best of their ability. Let's keep something in mind here. It's the state's job to seek justice. It's the defense's job to cast doubt. So everything needs to be turned over to the defense. And I understand what he's trying to do here. I believe this is nothing more than a fishing expedition. What I believe he's trying to do is get as much information as possible. So when he goes in front of the judge, he can say, this was self-defense. These students over here, they weren't innocent. Look at what they've done in the past. They did this, they did that. They were bullies, they were mean. I mean, he's going to grasp at anything and everything he can to represent his client to the best of his ability. I understand that Austin's brother Hunter is just a witness in this case, but he's a key witness in this case, and he's the twin brother of the victim. They both go to the same school. I'm not sitting here trying to make the case that you should be wrong for having doubts in what this defense attorney's trying to do. I think I know exactly what he's trying to do. He wants to paint these two, or as many of these witnesses as possible, as evil people. Because the worse he can make those kids look in front of a jury, the better his client will be. And you don't have to like it or dislike it, agree or disagree. It is what it is in a court of law. They're just trying to cast doubt. That's what they're going to do to the best of their ability. I mean, he's got to have some way to overcome what seems to be the multiple hurdles in this situation. Which is, of course, the statement from law enforcement upon his arrest where he said, I was defending myself. I read another report where it said that he admitted to doing the attack. There's video surveillance footage of the whole situation before it actually transpired. I mean, the defense has a real legitimate uphill battle here, which makes it so strange to me when I'm looking at the outside noise in this situation because people are 100% certain this was self-defense. At the end of the day, it may very well be, but it doesn't seem like that's lining up. It doesn't seem like that's the case. I'm going to go on and tell you, you will hear a lot of things that will upset you in this situation. You'll hear a lot of things about how our judicial system works and how this defense attorney is using every trick in the book to get his client out of it. You're going to see motions come across the table trying to get all this evidence thrown out. That's just the situation. That's how it's going to play out. I'm not psychic. I'm not predicting the future. I'm just telling you like it is. As it stands right now, the trial is set for June 1st of 2026, so they have almost a year to get ready for trial. And as June comes closer, I can almost guarantee you there will be some sort of motion filed to extend this out. That defense team will extend this out as far as they can until the judge finally says, hey, I've had enough. It's time to go to trial. You've had plenty of time. Let's move this thing forward and let's figure out if this guy did it or not. But just what a sad situation all the way around. As I said before, either way you look at this thing, both lives are ruined. Austin's gone. He's not coming back. Hunter's brother's gone forever. He'll have to deal with that the rest of his life. Both of these families are torn apart. Like him or not like him, it doesn't matter. Karmelo's life is over, regardless of what the verdict comes out to be. He'll be forever changed for this, and I don't think it'll be changed for the better. The way the people are acting in his particular camp is doing nothing to help his case or help his cause. The Give, Send, Go account has moved very little to my understanding. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and this is just an open discussion channel, but what a horrible thing to have so many people around you claiming to act on your behalf, but doing everything they can to make you look worse. If there's more updates or if there's more breaking news, I'll get to it as soon as I can, but that's all I got right now. Go look at Jumpsuit Pablo's video if you want to see that text message conversation. If you enjoyed this and a more fair, open conversation, maybe check one of these videos out. Y'all be safe now.